So today's video is on this sleep mechanism in metallic materials, stress required for the sleep. Can tensile stress create this sleep or this shear stress along sleep system, and resolve shear stress, and finally critical resolve shear stress. So this topic is very important because basically we are dealing with metallic materials, right? Or we can alloys metals, right? So plastic deformation is very important because suppose we have very thick size of materials, we can make a plate out of it, we can make a coil out of it, we can make a very thin sheet out of it, because final application will be of sheets, coils. So we need to do plastic deformation, right? So whether plastic deformation will occur or not, we will discuss that. And there is a concept called critical resolve shear stress, because this shear stress is very important to do sleep, and sleep is the main mechanism of plastic deformation. So sleep mechanism. So I am not going into the depth of that, but for better understanding what is sleep, I will discuss here. So suppose I have a block. So this is a block, for example, a metallic block, for example. And so suppose in the microscopic level, suppose this is a crystal otherwise. Crystal. And this is the half, top half, and this is the bottom half. So this is, if this top half is sliding on the bottom half, right? Suppose 1 unit distance, so that is called sleep, right? So suppose if this is undeformed block, now after plastic deformation, so how this will be? This will be situation, right? And this will be this is the situation. So you can see this is a block, and the top part is getting slided to a certain distance, but bottom part is fixed. So this is called sleep mechanism. And you can understand this has happened only in a particular direction and on a particular plane. So this is your plane. So I can write this is your sleep plane, and this direction is your sleep direction. So sleep always occurs in a definite crystallographic plane. That is called sleep plane. Basically they are closely packed plane. The atoms are very closely packed in that particular plane. And similarly, in the sleep direction. Sleep direction is in a particular crystallographic direction the sleep will occur. And that sleep direction should be in the sleep plane. Right? So this is the concept. Right? So, so this is the 1 unit distance, suppose. 1 unit distance. Represented by buzzer vector, for example, B. So buzzer vector basically is nothing but which gives you the magnitude of sleep and magnitude of the direction, or direction of the sleep and magnitude of the displacement, or magnitude of the displacement basically. Now stress required for the sleep, basically, then if this is the situation again, this is your initial block, undeformed block. Now if you apply a stress which will be like this, so what kind of stress is this? This is your shear stress actually. So that means if shear stress will be acting on this block, this will undergo plastic deformation. Otherwise, there will be no plastic deformation. And basically, what happens? As I told, suppose this is your sleep direction. And this is your sleep plane, as I told. So that means this shear stress should be acting on this plane and acting on this direction, then only the top part will slide over the bottom part. So that means the condition applied for slip is this shear stress should be acting on this slip plane in that slip direction. Then only plastic deformation is possible. So if you remember, we in one class we have discussed about the tensile test, if you remember, right? So tensile test is very simple, if you remember, right? Suppose I have a block of steel, for example, and I am applying a force like this. So this is a tensile force, right? Or if you want to represent by tensile stress, so suppose this is tensile stress. Right? But here I am talking about tensile stress, right? But just before now we have talked about shear stress. So if shear stress will be acting on the slip plane and slip direction, the plastic deformation will be possible. But here we are looking at that if we apply tensile stress, then also plastic deformation is occurring. So that means the conclusion is what? The conclusion is that we are actually applying a tensile load or tensile stress on this material that will give rise to the shear stress, or that will create a shear stress along the slip plane, along the slip direction. But we are applying tensile stress or tensile force, right? But that creates shear stress in the material. Where? Along the slip plane, along the slip direction. So how this is, we will discuss that. The answer is yes. The tensile stress creates shear stress along the slip system. Slip system is a combination of slip plane and slip direction. Suppose to explain this, we will take a single crystal actually. That will be better. Suppose I will take a single crystal. So this is a single crystal, and I am applying which kind of force? This is tensile force. You understand? We are pulling. Like this. So this material is under tension. This single crystal is under tension, right? So similarly, you can also write sigma. That means tensile stress, right? Anyways, so now suppose this area, this what is this? It's a cross-sectional area of this. So suppose cross-sectional area is, okay, I am writing here otherwise. So suppose A is nothing but cross-sectional area. This single crystal. And we have a slip plane like this. We have a slip plane here. And the slip direction is suppose this is the slip direction. Fine. So slip plane is like this, inclined one, and we have a slip direction in that plane, right? If I join this one, right? Now suppose to this plane I will draw a normal. Suppose this is normal. So here N is the normal to slip plane. So N is the normal to the slip plane. So this is your tensile axis. This is the normal to the slip plane, and this is the slip direction. Right? Up to this it is fine. So we can see we have some angles, right? So this is your one angle it is forming, right? Another angle is this one. So this angle from here to here, so I can write this one is lambda, this angle. So this angle is what? This angle is in between slip direction and tensile axis. Fine? And we have an angle, for example, phi. So phi is the angle between what? Tensile axis and normal to the slip plane. Right? So I can write phi is the angle between angle between tensile axis and normal to slip plane, and lambda is the angle between tensile axis and your slip direction. It is okay up to this? Now, as I told, we are applying tensile load or tensile stress is acting on the material, but it will create a shear stress where in the slip plane and the slip direction. Then only it will deform plastically. That is our concept. So I will check it. So that means I can write. So that means there will be a resolved force acting on this because the force is acting in this direction. So there will be a resolved force here on this slip plane and this slip direction. So that is actually called resolved shear stress actually. RSS, resolved shear stress. So resolved shear stress is equal to obviously force by area. Stress is equal to force by area, right? So force basically we are talking about this resolved force because actually the force is acting in this direction, but there is a resolved force, right? So here I can write this force is nothing but a resolved force. Resolved force in slip system divided by area of this one, area of slip plane. So that is I can write. So resolved force in the slip system will be how much? This is F. So this will be F cos lambda. Is okay? F cos lambda, this angle is lambda, divided by cross sectional area is A, and this one is cross sectional area of this one will be, this is an angle phi. So I can write total this cross sectional area is by cos phi. Is okay? Area become A by cos phi, and this force become resolved force, that is F cos lambda. So it will be finally F by A cos lambda cos phi. Okay, this is the thing. So finally, what is resolved? So this is nothing but your resolved shear stress, which is acting on the slip plane, acting in the slip direction. So that means you can understand. So this one I can write now. Resolved shear stress is equal to F by A is nothing but sigma, which is the tensile stress acting on the material, right? Sigma is the tensile stress acting. Cos lambda cos phi. Like this. So this is the. So that means I can say the resolved shear stress depend upon the tensile stress acting on the materials, and it depends upon the angles. Angle means what? Actually it depends upon the orientation of the slip system with this tensile axis, right? If you change the orientation, RSS may change, right? If you change the tensile stress, RSS will change, right? So the conclusion is what? We are applying a tensile load on the materials, and which will generate resolved shear stress on the slip system, which will lead to the plastic deformation of the material. Okay, we'll discuss now this one. This is, we have already discussed about the tau RSS. Now, what is critical resolved shear stress? Tau CRSS. Tau CRSS. This is called critical resolved shear stress. Fine. So, suppose I want to draw a plot between. Resolved shear stress versus sigma. This is the tensile stress. This is the resolved shear stress. Right? then finally we will get a linear curve obviously. We have seen the equation. Resolved shear stress is equal to sigma cos lambda cos phi, right? And the slope will be obviously, if you want to find the slope, it will be obviously your cos lambda cos phi. This is the slope obviously of that equation, right? Now you can see the interesting part. This is the tensile stress axis. This is the resolved shear stress axis now, fine. And if you remember, when we apply tensile load or tensile stress on the material, plastic deformation will start when? It will start when the tensile stress reaches a value, that is yield strength of the material, right? If you remember the curve, okay, let me draw it quickly now. Stress versus strain now. And if you remember the curve, like suppose it is starting from here, you go like this, then it will go like this, finally it will here. So this point, what is this? This is sigma y, suppose this is sigma stress, this is sigma y, which is the yield strength of the material, right? So if the sigma becomes sigma y, plastic deformation will start. So what I can write? Already we have, okay, so that means this tensile stress is acting on the material. Suppose at this point, this is sigma y, right? So this value is giving you the yield strength of the materials. So plastic deformation will start. So if I will draw a projection, here it is cutting here, then I will draw a projection from this point. So what will be this point? This will be tau critical resolved. So you understood? Very interesting. When sigma becomes sigma y, that means when the yield stress is equal to yield strength of the materials, then your resolved shear stress is equal to critical resolved shear stress. So at this stress, yielding is start, the plastic deformation starts. So corresponding to that particular tensile stress, you have a stress called critical resolved shear stress. So I can write the equation. Already we know that tau resolved shear stress is equal to sigma cos lambda cos phi. This was the initial equation. So what I can write? So when this will become sigma y, this will become critical resolved shear stress is okay, equal to cos lambda. Right? So definition is very simple from the graph. That means critical resolved shear stress is nothing but it is that threshold shear stress when sigma is equal to sigma y. Right? Very simple. From this equation, from this graph also you can define what is critical resolved shear stress. So that means if the resolved shear stress will be equal to critical resolved shear stress, then plastic deformation will start. Or the stress should be above that. If the stress acting on the slip system is below this one, CRSS, plastic deformation will never start. It is okay? So this is very interesting. So that's why CRSS is nothing but the threshold stress, or this is the minimum stress to initiate plastic deformation in a material. And this kind of stress should be acting on the slip system. Okay, can count it.